Broadcasting live from the Business RadioX studios in Atlanta, Georgia, it's time for Atlanta Business Radio. Brought to you by OnPay. Built in Atlanta, OnPay is the top-rated payroll and HR software anywhere. Get 1 month free at onpay.com. Now, here's your host.
Lee Cantor here, another episode of Atlanta Business Radio, and this is going to be a good one. Today on the show, we have Brad Bryant with SkyAlert Security Solutions. Welcome, Brad.
Thank you, Lee. How are you?
I am doing great. I'm excited to learn what you're up to. Tell us a little bit about SkyAlert. How you serving folks?
Yes, SkyAlert is a basically an affordable solution with a GPS smart tracker and safe hub through our technology that helps keep people safe and helps them alert emergency services should they be needed.
So tell us about how it works.
Well, basically we have a fob that's like a key fob that you would start your car with that is wearable. And it is programmed with your information, includes an SOS button, what we call a yellow alert button, that you can leave messages to give more detailed location information. And should you press it or need assistance, it goes right to our monitoring center where you get a live operator that at that point, the operator screen shows what your protocols are, which could be your health information, your information on who you are, where you are, and what protocols you want them to handle for you, meaning Protocol 1 could be dial my cell phone to see if it was, if I push the button incorrectly. Or Protocol 2 could be, call my wife and let her know there's an emergency. So the protocols can be set up and that operator is there on the line with you, walking through those things. The device also has fall detection. So if you're a lone worker in the field and happen to, let's say, fall off the ladder and are incapacitated, it will go off. The emergency response center will come on. If they're not getting a response from you, they'll start following the protocols, and then that boils down to alerting the emergency services in the area, whether it's ambulance, police, sheriff's department, to go to the scene. It is GPS accurate to about 8 feet, so they'll know your precise location as they walk emergency services through on where you are and how to reach you.
Now, is all that's happening through the fob?
Yes, that's all happening through the fob. And also we have an app that you can put on your phone that mirrors the fob. So that works as well, should you need to use that.
So now, is this primarily for the business folks who have teams that work independently and by themselves and it keeps them safe, or is it something that somebody could buy it for an elderly parent?
It'll work for both. For instance, I'll just give a personal story. My son is in the HVAC business there in Atlanta and is quite often on his own. So I make sure we got him a fob, and he can do it that way just as an individual. Like you said, if you had a grandparent that needed something, it's not landline based. So it is through cellular service. So it will follow you and go with you wherever you are. And again, the protocol that you enter when you sign up through for the device would say, hey, number one thing to do, emergency response center, is see how my parent is doing. And you can hear them and talk through the fob. You get the live voice coming through on the speaker located within. And then you talk back to them and say, hey, I'm fine. I just pushed it accidentally. Or no, if it goes the other way, I'm not feeling well, or I just fell down and I need some assistance. So at that point, they would, get emergency services involved in your locality and send to your location, and then go to second protocol, which is call my son's cell phone number and let him know what's going on. So the good thing about it is that you get for individuals, companies can certainly utilize it, and that's a big sector for us. That they can assign the fob per employee or number, so it doesn't have to be to an individual person. There is a portal that the company can have that will then be able to pull up a map, a usage report, a GPS location report, and know who's got what fob and where they are located within the United States, so they can track and see where those are. Let's say, for instance, a healthcare company in the Atlanta area, and they have, 30 in-home health advisors out at any given time. Not only can they use the fob, the healthcare worker, but the employee would be able to see where they're located when they're on route to another place in real time. It pings about every minute through the GPS, so that map is tracking. So if you had a healthcare employee that was under the weather or needed to go home or was staying too long at that patient for some reason in that home, you could then see who was the nearest other employee and send them to the next appointment. So that can save time and money for companies. So there's a lot of different aspects on the usage. And I think what really sets us apart is the live operator that you're getting, and also the back end portal, as I call it, that allows the employer to send alerts to everyone that has a fob in an area. So it could be a tornado or a terrorist activity. And they can see exactly where their folks are. And it doesn't necessarily at that point have to go through the emergency response center. That's certainly an option. But they can, if they have their own operations center, everything can be directed through to them.
Now, could it work for
a lot of opportunities?
Could it work for, like, say, I have a real estate company and I have a lot of realtors out there by themselves, and this could be kind of a layer of protection so that they have some way to call authorities if need be in case something hectic happens?
Yeah, most definitely. Let's say if you're the lone realtor about to do an open house, you will be tracked. You can push that button. You can hide it discreetly on your clothing. One of the first things that happens if there is something bad going on is that the perpetrator takes away your cell phone. Well, this could be the fob device fits in your pocket. You could press it. The protocol might be set up for our emergency response center to listen for 10 seconds. And then you would either have a secure word or a duress word that you would put into your conversation. And that way the operator is not broadcasting back to you. They're listening. It's all recorded, and they will be sending emergency service personnel to your location. You can also give more information into the fob. When you push the yellow alert button, you can record a message that says, hey, I'm going into this house on 123 Main Street, and I will be meeting with this person from this time to this time, and I will check in 45 minutes. And you go in, if it lasts more than 45 minutes, you get an alert that comes to the fob will vibrate. It'll also go to your cell phone to remind you that you need to check in. If you aren't checking in, they take that to mean that something bad is happening. And again, they send emergency services to your location. Interesting note, GPS is, it's horizontal, not vertical. So for instance, if you're going into an apartment complex, or condo complex in downtown Atlanta, if you're on the 15th floor, the GPS will know that you're in that building, but you can leave on that yellow alert. You can leave recording saying, I'm on the 15th floor in apartment 402 for the next 45 minutes. And this is who I'm meeting with. And this is, when I plan to depart. So that's recorded into your section on the portal. So if something does happen and the SOS button is pushed, they'll know exactly where you are within a high rise.
Now, could it work in like college campuses? I know security is an issue in that environment as well.
Yeah, we're talking to some sororities on college campuses right now that, they can either have this purchased by the individual or they can purchase it, say, at a sorority house that if you're going to be unattended and need some safety, it could be checked out. And then that number would go to details left at, let's call it the house for, who's got it and where they've gone, and still utilize the same thing. We even in one instance, and it's a little off the college topic, but we've got a laboratory that's located on a college campus. So instead of the device pinging our emergency response center, what it does is we rerouted that to go into the front desk of that laboratory. So each scientist that comes in is issued a fob as they come in, which they can then push if there's a problem, chemical spills or whatever, or if there's, if they are overcome by inhalation of something and pass out, it goes off and it goes back to that front desk. And that person knows what number fob is in what room and can go straight to there and then escalate it up through university police, as opposed to, the county sheriff or the local police jurisdiction.
And that's, but you can get it, like me as the client, I can decide the protocol, right? You can give me best practices, but I can decide I want it to go here, here, and here, and then get elevated to the police, right? I decide that.
Yeah, you get to decide that based on what your needs are, again, as an individual or as a company, on what you're trying to do with it. The beauty of it, again, is that we do have live operators that are talking to you through the fob. It's basically a two-way communication device that can only dial the one number, and it can only dial the fob back. So it allows you to set it up as to what your needs are. We're working with some real estate firms. We're working with laboratories, college campuses, and setting it up to what they need. The 911 side of things, a lot of the different devices out there will just basically dial 911. Now, if the 911 center that call goes to is got the GPS capabilities, and they will know what your location is. Usually, 911 operator is going to ask you, "Where are you?" You may not know. So then it comes, then hey, the next thing is that your cell phone battery's died, or that your cell phone's gone, and you can't communicate with them. So they get within a certain area, but they don't know exactly what you need or what you want. By being able to talk to a live operator who is looking at your profile and talking to you directly, and then knowing what your duress word is or what your safe word is, and all these types of things, it can be escalated as need be. If you're an individual, you may not want it to call your cell number. It just automatically goes straight to 911 or an emergency operations center, which then we can call directly to bypass the 911 by calling directly to the police station, the sheriff's department, or ambulance services to come straight to you. And that operator will remain on there with you. Kind of go back to the college campus scenario. You're walking across campus and you're not, you see something or it's dark or you're a little scared. This is kind of like a safe buddy. You can push it, and that operator will come on and stay with you as you walk, say, from your dorm room to your car. And then you get in your car and you lock the door and you tell them you're safe, and they say, "Have a nice evening." But they're ready to act on your behalf at any time.
And that's the beauty of this as opposed to 911. This is a service you're paying for, and that you can use it at your discretion to keep you safe, or even when it's a kind of a false alarm in hindsight, but at the time you don't know what it is.
Yeah. And, you're exactly right. And you can use it as many times as you want. There's not a set, you can only push this button 20 times a month and then your cost goes up. That's not our structure. Our goal is to make people safe. And we encourage you to test the fob on a daily basis. Push the button. Talk to the operator. Get familiar with it. Leave yourself a yellow alert message, a virtual buddy that can come online. And my wife has used it. She was in retail at the local mall. And, when that closes at 9:30 and they're out by 10 p.m., the security guard's at the exit door, and she says goodnight. But then she pushes that, gets the operations center online, and they stay online until she walks to the car and gets locked in.
Right. That's a wonderful peace of mind service.
Yes, most definitely.
Now, what's your backstory? How'd you get into this line of work?
I was in the live entertainment business since about 1986 and stayed into it. But at the same time, right after 9/11, I joined the Georgia State Defense Force, Georgia State Guard, and rose to the rank of Colonel Brigade Commander, retired in December of last year, and was integral in the search and rescue aspect of what we were doing within the state of Georgia and assisting local law enforcement and the National Guard. And, we had a lot of search and rescues, which is a positive outcome, but there were a lot of search and recoveries that lasted a number of days. We worked on the Meredith Emerson search, which was high profile, years ago. And I just kept thinking to myself, if somebody had some way to get in touch or, leave that breadcrumb trail, how many more rescues would we have versus recoveries? And my good friend Dave Houghton started this company and asked me to join last year. So I came on board and, recently announced to be president as we try to take this to the next level. But I just knew there was a better way. And after he sent me one of the fobs and I got involved with it, really testing it out, I was like, this is incredible what it can do by interfacing with a live monitoring center at an affordable cost. And so that's how I became involved with it.
Now, do you see the opportunity around businesses more or around individuals in the consumer?
Well, for me, from a business perspective, we're dealing more with the companies or corporations and trying to get this out to a great number of people in a timely fashion. It is certainly, we do have it set up. You can go to our website and order a single fob. So if you needed one for your grandparent or your partner or spouse, and do it that way. It comes with all the instructions needed, and we help you set it up to get it functioning as you need it to. Excuse me, but obviously the bigger sales potential is with corporations. Everything from water companies to the different healthcare sector, realtors, delivery drivers. Every time I turn around, I'm thinking of a new aspect of how this could be used by someone to increase employee safety. And in certain industries, I think we're going to see legislation here soon that is going to say, hey, employers are responsible for their employee safety. And so how are they protecting them? What are they doing for them? We actually offer a device that works through satellite, not just the cellular service, for those lone workers that are really out there and need assistance. I mean, you can't pick up your cell phone and call anybody unless you're carrying a satellite phone and you have the capacity to use it. How are you going to get in touch with someone to say that you need an emergency service, or you've fallen, or you've broken your leg? I mean, there's a lot of different things out there, and we just want to make everybody safe.
Now, if somebody wants to learn more, have a more substantive conversation with you or somebody on the team, what's the website?
Website is skyAlertSOS.com, and or you just Google SkyAlert Security Solutions and it'll pop up there. And it gives an overview of what the device is, the fob, and also the app and how things work. It has our contact information on there. Like I said, if you're a large corporation looking at 50 to 1,000 of the units, then by all means call the number there. That goes directly into myself or one of our sales folks. So there's someone there that's going to talk to you, and we'd be happy to help get you set up. If need be, send a test unit so you can try it out and get familiar with it and see if it's going to fit for what your company goals are for the safety of your employees. And then we take it from there.
Good stuff. Well, congratulations on all the success, Brad.
I appreciate it, Lee. Thank you very much.
All right. That website, once again, is skyalertsos.com. Brad Bryant, thank you again for sharing your story. You're doing important work, and we appreciate you.
Thank you, sir.
All right. This is Lee Cantor. We'll see y'all next time on Atlanta Business Radio.
Today's episode of Atlanta Business Radio is brought to you by OnPay, Atlanta's new standard in payroll. To learn more and get your first month free, go to onpay.com.